these plants come from our house, and we bring this to this place, um, and so including all of what was explained, all of the parts of the plants and the meaning comes with it, a piece of us, because we malama, or we take care of all of these plants, and so a part of us is included in each one of these plants, and so it comes from our house, our hale, and goes into this offering. So that's what makes it so much more special for us, because it's a part of us.
And one of the reasons that we are so diligent in trying to grow as many of these plants ourselves and malama them for ourselves is not only because we learn about the plants that way, so we have a deeper understanding of this very important aspect of our hula, but also because the native resource is so impacted now. You know, back in the old days, there were, some estimates say 400,000 people living on this island, but those 400,000 people had a very small footprint. Each person, their personal footprint of their own area that they lived within probably was the size of these two mats and the trails on which they walked. And then a farm, land maybe the size of this area per individual. If we think about just the size of one private home now, today we humans have a much larger footprint that we leave on the earth. And so even though there are fewer people harvesting these things today, there's far less place for them to grow, to be harvested from. There are environmental things happening. You know, the log from the volcano has created a specific ecosystem that is challenging for plants, and so very specialized plants grow in it. But when you remove the ecological niches that these plants live in and try and bring in plants that are not adapted to this special environment, you end up with the environment not being able to support itself holistically. So in our work, one of the reasons that we love to use the lei is because every time we incorporate the different types of plant materials into the lei, it reminds us that each of these things has its own special place in nature and its own special place in the world as a whole. So,
Kind of like people.
yeah, I should let you talk once in a while. So we make this lei and we try to not impact the native forest anymore at this point. I'll take my students out and we'll look at the plants in situ, in their natural habitat, to learn about them. And then we'll go home and we'll take cuttings from our own garden at home to include. The other thing, one of the reasons that one of the things that I did this morning, it took me a little while, takes a little while to prepare these plants, because each of them, we clean every leaf before we bring it up here. Because we as humans, we can be real vectors bringing different species in. There were bugs on these, and so a lot of the fronds I didn't bring up. So we probably picked from the garden a third more than we're actually going to use, so that we can leave some of them there in their own home compost pile and not bring any eggs or bugs or anything up that should not be here, because this is such a special, fragile environment. And mahalo to everybody up here for taking the time to learn about it and being part of this. You know, just by being here and learning and sharing, you're helping this very special place to continue on in a way that it will remain beautiful for generations to come. So thank you for that.
One of the other important aspects of, this is all part of preparing for hula. And one of the other important aspects of what's happening here too is that before you can start to create this Hoʻokupu, you have to cleanse yourself spiritually. Because as you're weaving and you're making this lei and you're putting all of these plants together, that part of you, that mana, that part of you is being weaved into this lei. And so it's important that your spiritual self is pono, is pure. And so you weave that into the lei and leave all the negativity out. Because it's poor form, if you will, to give someone part of your negativity as a gift. So you want to make sure that it's all pono and it's pure. So sometimes when we think we need to make a lei and we're not having a good day, and that's life, sometimes life happens, then we just stop and wait till the time is right.
E ulu kini o ke aku ulu ka neme kanalo ulu ohi alo ko me ka ie ai mai no hoi ko kuahu e a ka vaila ka vai e ola no
What this chant that we just said meant was we were asking for those deities, those main deities in Hawaiian culture, to come and bless this place and enlighten us. And as we prepare this Hoʻokupu to teach us, to allow us to learn and to be pono,